Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you. Because I am the hero the Sports Jedi deserves, but not the one it needs right now. Long live Lexus King.
What's good, everyone? What's going on? Galaxy Sports Jedi Network. It is IBX Sports Jedi Kev here with your NXT recap review. We are powered by Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes, stay match ready, stay clean, stay fresh. Dude Wipes in the Sports Jedi Network, wiping out the competition. Don't forget, we're also sponsored by G Fuel Energy. Fuel your energy, fuel your soul. Go to gfuelenergy.com/PGH Chris and save 20% off and Blackout Coffee. Wake up, stand up, never back down. Go to blackoutcoffee.com. At checkout, use my promo code Sports Jedi Kev. Tonight, we're going to get into NXT. It was not just another episode. It felt like a power shift, and we're going to break everything down. But let me bring my partner, the one and only, the big hoss, Knucklebrew. What's going on, Knuck?
Man, doing great, Kev. How you doing, everybody? We're going to break down NXT. This was an interesting episode. It's changed the pace, direction of the brand. So let's go ahead and break this down, Kev.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. We had a North American Championship match. Maybe some people say a bright star in Saquon Shugars. We'll get into all of that. The cracks in the armor of DarkState and the faction, where that goes. We had a Zaria AI generated vignette in the back, but I you know what? I liked it. I will break into that. I don't know what was the complaint about it. It was done correctly. I was fine with it. I have no issues with it. We had a debut where it started to rain heavy metal down across the page. We had a lot of debuts, a lot of copy and paste in the beginning part of it. And I am ready, man. I hope you guys are locked in. Don't forget if you're watching us, hit the like, subscribe, and share. We do all the different recaps, watch along, interviews, and more here on the Sports Jedi Network channel. We continue to grow. We want to continue to make the community grow in our channel. And, of course, we won't insult you. We won't tell you that you're boring. No, we will make sure that you are part of our channel and make sure that everyone's voice is heard and you feel the force of the Sports Jedi Network. All right, so let's go right into it, man. I've got the first match was your men's North American Championship. You had Saquon Shugars taking on Myles, Borne. With DarkState around the ring, you knew that something was going to play in that spot. What's going on? What's going to happen with DarkState? We've seen some dissensions, some not on the same page. Something was brewing with it. But all in all, I want to talk about the match. Myles Borne continued. There was a spot on the outside where the padding was not there, and there was a throat incident. And don't know if the referee felt out of place or he didn't know about it, or it was accidentally a real accidental with no padding, but at least I bought into it. I don't know about you, Haas.
It was a good sell of the injury. Did I buy into it? Not so much. The acting was not that proficient, but let's just suspend our disbelief for a second. Let's go with this. So it worked out in Saquon's for his advantage, and we got Dion Lennox to get involved in this match. And I'm more so interested in the aftermath of the match. The match was fine. Saquon, he showed he could go, and Myles Borne, he's consistent. As a champion, he's very consistent, so I have no problem with that. Now, with the whole DarkState dissension, this is very interesting. I believe this is just me hot take at the beginning. I believe we're going to end up having a match for the leadership position of DarkState, and whoever loses is going to get kicked out of the group. And that's going to probably lead to a babyface turn for whoever gets kicked out of the group. I think it's going to probably be Dion Lennox because they're high on him. But I think that's what's going to happen with that. But the match was fine.
Here's the one thing where I got hooked in and bid on the, whoa, maybe there is something there. There was a spot right before they went to the picture-in-picture. I was watching it both. The United States feed, and I had the computer going on the international feed, where there was a part where the referee was going to put up the X up. He made the motion, and it was in the transition of the picture-in-picture, and I go, oh, they're going to stop this match. Because the referee went blatantly outside to check. where his job at that point is to stay on the apron and start counting for the 10 count. He actually went out to check, and he was about to throw that X up, and he didn't last second. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. There could be something there where, damn, unfortunate situation. But throughout the match, I got to give credit to Myles. He kept selling. And one thing I saw a lot with some of the veterans, we could say now veterans in NXT, or the wrestlers that are staying behind to that now you have the next spotlight in the pecking order, was something that I saw that I got to give a lot of credit, and I'm going to say it throughout the show. It's going to sound a little redundant, guys, but I have to give credit where credit's due. It's easy to harp on all the negative and all the bad stuff and all the stuff, the botches and all that, quote unquote. You have to also compliment the good stuff. One thing is Myles had a technical masterpiece in selling that neck, and going through that struggle, and I want to give Saquon Shugars did a good job there. They put on a technical masterpiece there for the first few minutes. Borne got the victory. The veteran retained, but he doesn't get to celebrate much because out of the crowd comes out Tristan Angel and Cam Hendricks attacking him and laid him out in the back there. That was something going to be the theme of the night, where different people were making their names mentioned, especially the back-to-back segment. And one thing that you mentioned earlier, Haas, that I don't want to gloss over was we saw that I had a little bit disconnect. When the part where Dion went for the chair and he was going to use the chair, and then Saquon became all of a sudden had a moral compass when he was the one that's been cheating throughout the whole DarkState. He's the one that's been the opportunistic, the shortcutter of the group, and he decides now he had a moral compass, where I thought it should have been the other way. I think I would have liked more for Saquon to want to hit the chair shot and Dion Lennox say, no, you have to do this fair. I thought that was right there. I was a little bit confused, a little disconnected.
When it comes to this has been going on all through each brand. Everybody tell me, I want to do it alone. I want to do it alone. This is going everywhere from NXT to SmackDown to Raw. Everybody says they want to do things alone, and that takes away from the intrigue of the match. Why have these factions? You want to just like, oh man, I'm so strong now. I want to do it on my own. I have to prove myself. Man, get that out of here. Get the belt. Stop playing. But I get what it does for the story, but it just comes off, like you said, redundant. Like we're seeing it on every show now. When we had Dominic with Finn and them before they broke up, they're going to do the same thing down here. But yes, that's what you get. Oh, I want to do it myself. So I don't like it, but it's for the story. So I guess it's for the greater good.
But the by myself part, I would have liked it where it would have been Dion Lennox telling Saquon Shugars, do it by yourself, not Shugars saying, no, what do you? Because you hear Dion says, I'm doing it for us so we can win title. Where Dion Lennox was the one supposed to be the one that was supposed. It kind of felt like this time around it was Shugars. Maybe that's the emotional ride that they want to put us in. That Shugars is the one that's going to break out from DarkState. Where, be honest with you, and I said this many time and time again, it might be a hot take, or I may be seeing it different, or my lenses are wrong. I kind of see two guys out of the four from DarkState really moving on to bigger and better things, and one is Dion Lennox, and the other one is Osiris Griffin. I don't see much about Cutler James or Saquon Shugars, to be honest with you, but Saquon did a good job tonight to take a step forward and making me a little bit of a doubter. I did enjoy his match, one of his best matches that I really enjoyed, but that part of the character from him was the little bit of a disconnect, because I want you to be the ultimate heel, and Lennox, because let's face it, Dion Lennox does get a lot of female engagement and following. The ladies find him attractive. There's a markability with him. A nice baby face for him going forward will be something that will benefit. I'm thinking about monies and cents. They don't have to cater for me. They don't, I'm not the only one watching the WWE. There's other people watching, ladies and females, and even gay guys. They have to cater to certain, to bring in those kind of viewership. So I can understand where they're going, and I kind of want to see where Dion becomes the babyface. If you understand where I'm coming from.
Oh, I get exactly what you're saying. That goes into what the news we heard in the IWC today about the AI with getting for the demographics. What kind of reactions are they getting in the PC? So yeah, I get exactly what you're going with Dion Lennox. So And he's gonna have to. I can see the babyface turn because we got so many big black guys in NXT. There's the angry, strong, mean black guys. You got to have some baby faces to go against them. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, because you already got, and I don't want them to get stereotyping typecast. You've got Trash Patrol, who started off as a heel, kind of was now is a big baby face, which is good, which is a good thing. And then after that, because Keanu Carver's the heel, you've got three out of the four members of DarkState currently now in the heel group. So there's not, like you said, you don't want them to be typecast. Because OTM, but do we see them on television? We don't even get to see them on TV.
Rarely.
So one half of the tag teams, they also are the heel babyface. We don't know. They're tweeners. So interesting to see there. We saw Cam Hendricks, who is formerly known as Anthony Luke's from LFG.
Who?
Yes. I said the same thing when I saw Tristan Angels. I'm like, who? And I'm like, who's? I mean, there was a lot of who tonight. There was a lot of owls out tonight on NXT programming. But to see, he goes, I'm, Trish and Angel, yada yada. Then Cam Hendricks laid him out, got the jump there, hit the tail. So the men's North American title scene, which is going to get people on notice in all the male, because this is something what we said. And the men's division, the women carry the men in NXT. Now it's time for the men to make some things wake up. So we'll see where it goes there, because they made it, because WWE, CW, NXT brand made a big announcement. We're now starting at Great American Bash. All the premium live events will be on the CW network. So I asked the question: are there no longer premium live events? Because they're on television. They become now glorified Clash of Champions. If you remember Clash of Champions for the TBS for WCW days, you had good matches, but it was televised event. It was a specialized televised event. That's probably, maybe that's one of those they should bring back to the CW Clash of Champions. They own the WCW name on that. Maybe that's something, they could use. Maybe, who knows? But here's also I got to say. They didn't say how much money they were getting for it. But this is going to be format to a window of 2 hours, and I don't need this where they want to cram a match at 15 minutes to the hour, and it's going to finish exactly on top of the hour, and the main event's going to get cheapened because they're going to bring it home by a certain time. I hope that they use the Pro Live Sports moniker. If they go over at the top of the hour, maybe one PLE or one of the events finishes at 21 past the hour or 25 past the hour, and they could go into a pre-recorded show of the Big Bang Theory until the top of the hour, and they could go to regularly scheduled program. Treat it like it's a Major League Baseball game. Look, the CW network, or if you're in New York City, WPIX New York, they had a lot of the Yankee games. A lot of the Yankee games used to go 3.5, 4 hours against the Orioles back in '96 when they were on that network. They have no problem going in and giving you cheers at that time when it was over. I hope they treat that with the wrestling, where they don't have to finish a hard out. Yes, it's predetermined. They could tell people bring it home, but it's nice once in a while to go over. If a match and the crowd is hooked, let them go over. Let them sink their teeth in and tell the story, and then bring it home. And, so I hope they treat it that way.
I think WrestleMania groomed us. They're going to let us know. Again, that's a negative word. I hate to use the word, but that's the best word I could use right now. They have groomed us for short matches and many ads. So when it goes to CW, it's going to be probably 2, maybe 2.5 hours at max. You're going to probably get 4 to 5 matches, not too many backstage segments, and they're gonna have you in and out of there pretty quickly. So it's good to have wishful thinking here, but they have told us where they're going with this. They have told us.
Yeah, you pretty much said that there, and I'm interested to see how that goes. I'm going to be open-minded. I would have loved it to stay on YouTube. Did Stand and Deliver on YouTube. I had no issues. I had no problem. Out of all the things, and it sounds funny because I'm the one that complains about the streaming. I wish, why can't it be on traditional linear television? To me, it was because of the commercials. This is why I'm like a little bit, because when I'm conditioned to watch a premium live event like that, I don't want any ads or commercials. But they prepared us with WrestleMania night number 1. So it's a change. It's a new world order. They're changing. evolution. People get to evolve, and I guess now the viewing consumption of television or live programming, live sports entertainment they're conditioning us to change and making a change for better or worse. Only time will tell. And right now they're going in that direction.
It's going to be a big shift in a few years because you're going to have people crying for pay-per-view. And it's gonna be a crazy dynamic when that happens. You're gonna see the hijacking of TV shows for this because people are gonna get sick of WrestleMania with 8 to 10-minute matches, and only your main event's gonna be 20 plus minutes. People are gonna start hijacking these shows, and I give it about maybe after Saudi next year, it's gonna start happening. So you're gonna have people crying for pay-per-view.
We'll see. Well, coming back from the commercial break, we had a with Kalani Jordan, who interrupts Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair. Setting up a match where we're going to have later on tonight, Jordan Gray versus Ren Sinclair, telling Ren Sinclair, be careful, because in this business, not everyone is your friend, that you always end up being alone, right? Charles, and don't trust Kendall. Planting the seeds for maybe down the road where Ren Sinclair, Kendall Gray, later down the road, they'll set up a match for them later on in the card, but we get Tony D'Angelo coming out. Tony D'Angelo, your NXT World Champion. He comes out. He wants to know what's in the box. So, of the mystery. He knows that someone wants to send a message. He knows more about that than anyone. Tony D'Angelo, the lights go off. The crowd gets excited. I mean, there was a lot of excited fans. Like, they kind of, and to the point where I'm very excited. Like, calm down. We don't know who it is. Out comes a man in a hood, mystery, and the formerly known as the former IWGP World Champion, Evil. They didn't mention his name, which they always do this because they want to make sure they have it marketed or everything dotted the I's, cross their T's. No words were exchanged, just a stare down. It was a banner that I guess meant war. And first and foremost, before I go there, what was your thoughts on that?
War. Huh. What is it good for? He did not look physically impressive. I'll tell you that. I don't fear him. I don't. If I'm Tony D'Angelo, why would I fear this man? I mean, in kayfabe, sure. I know nothing about him. I have not researched him. I'm coming from Tony D's point of view. Who is this guy sending me letters? Who's sending me gifts? And this the guy you bring me? Okay. All right. I guess. But as a new viewer, fresh, who knows nothing about this New Japan guy, he doesn't look that impressive to me. I'm trying to put myself in the point of view of the modern wrestling fan, and this guy better come out here and have some great moves or something, because I just do not see it. But Kev, you enlighten me on it. How you felt about it?
Well, when he gave him the box and he opened and he revealed himself, I thought Tony D'Angelo was going to say, "Hey, I didn't know the Diegros." Oh. But no, all kidding aside, I saw him and I go, man, this guy looks old. I'm sorry. When you're going through a youth movement, and I understand he's going to go there to learn television, to learn the camera angles, to learn the stuff there. But I'm like, all right. I mean, aren't you kind of old, a little old for this? But okay. I was like, I'm open-minded. I want to see what this. I never seen the guy wrestle before. I was actually impressed that a lot of the PC, my fellow friends here from Orlando, Florida, knew, because I think we all knew the buzz and the rumors that he was coming to the WWE, but I didn't think it was to be that excited and or enthusiastic. Because if you don't know the guy, don't wrestle, I'll be like, yeah, all right, let's go. But there was a lot of people that were super over enthusiastic. You thought that you were getting, the Rainmaker joining the WWE, or something. It felt that one, but you know what? He was well welcome. To me, what I liked afterwards was the attack for Travion Heights. Travion Heights comes in and attacks Tony D'Angelo from behind. Has a new look. I know somebody in AEW is gonna be mad because he was wearing orange and black. Ooh. We got a warning. We got a tornado warning. Hopefully not.
Yeah, that was for me. My bad.
I know those warnings. I know those warnings. But my point. You had Travion Heights attack, and then this guy come out of nowhere and does a moonsault. A wrestler, chubby-looking wrestler, big guy, there's a moonsault. They go, "Oh, who's this guy? Oh, jump the barricade." I go, "No." I mean,
they say he's a fan.
Is it a fan? It was some independent wrestler that's got a contract or for I don't know his name. I wish they would have at least gotten someone in the backstage with a microphone, having him leave the building and find out who you are.
On it at all. They didn't elaborate.
I'm surprised they never let the ball drop. Your thoughts on that?
I with Tavion Heights first. I want to see how to explore his character. Big orange shirt. He came out there, gave you a belly to belly. Came there with a little edge to him. So the Olympian is upset. He's mad. So got the hair flowing. So we'll see where that goes from there. With the big pasty moonsault, I don't know what to do with that guy. I guess they say, man, this ideal did not rock. We're not going to even talk about it anymore. It happened, and we're going to forget about it. So I think that's what they did with it. Like, man, he almost mooned us with the moonsault. He almost lost his pants, if anyone noticed that. So, yeah, that's probably why they didn't explore that anymore. Yeah, I was not impressed. I'm glad they got him out of there quickly. They should have just played along with it and said, man, a fan jumped the barricade and got a moonsault. So, yeah.
You don't want to encourage those fan base there to want to, because them others want to be copycats. You don't want to do that.
You are right. Wrestling fans are wilding out lately. So, yeah, you are right, sir.
You want to do that there. Definitely. And I'm going to move on to this one here. We had a tag team here. Let me talk about the segment, because I don't want to lose my thunder when I want to talk about the males division. But there was a segment where they saw, which I like the vignettes. I like segments. But this one, it was like, do you think people are that dumb? There's people that watch everything. There's people that says they love wrestling. They watch everything. When they had the Blake Monroe's, I guess they were saying goodbye and burying her NXT career with Blake Monroe, with Shiloh Hill and Tatum Paxton in the cemetery where they buried her. I thought about you immediately, because he goes, this is character development. And you love the character. And just like us, I grew up with characters. From Hulk Hogan to the Macho Man to George the Animal Steele, Brutus the Barber Briefcase, you name it, from back in the golden days. I understood it, but I was like, okay. But then it's like, there's going to be people that nitpick everything when it comes to wrestling. Did they really wanted to put that in the cemetery? Like, she's not dead. She's just going to SmackDown. Your thoughts on that one? I like the character stuff, but I think they could have done something different.
It's going to either be a hit or miss. I think it's a miss. It's not going to be a tremendous miss, but they're trying to build up the legend of Tatum Paxley more than burying Blake Monroe. What I would have done with this, if we're going to bury Blake Monroe, have her come back as the zombie glamour, but they're not going to go that far. But that would be interesting, though. You are burying her for continuity purposes. But yeah, it's a nice segment. But yeah, for wrestling fans who like you say, sit up here, dissect this, and they up there, they watch this religiously, they're gonna talk about it. Especially people from the other brand who's been talking about Mariah May and Blake Monroe forever. So they're gonna talk about it. But the segment was for Tatum Paxley. It's cool. It's fine.
Now this match had me puzzled. You had a tag team with the Birthrights. Two members of the Birthrights, Stax, was teaming up. And then EK Prosper. But before we get the match going, they took out the Belgian wrestler off, and EK Prosper again left alone, and he needed a partner. He comes storming in, getting revenge on the whole fashion group. The numbers game, not a smart move there by EK Prosper. But out comes Sean Legacy. Sean Legacy was taken out. They were trying to become a partner tag team and so forth. Couldn't, and they have the match. Well, okay, I understand, but I understand what the Birthright, the numbers game, but I didn't agree with the victory going to Sean Legacy and EK Prosper. Great match. Those guys do great moves. It's a great spot fest. Absolute great spot fest. Got all their shit in. But the psychology, what are we doing with Birthright? They need, if they're the next wave of second generation wrestlers, and they should be in ruling, like you said, they need, like we talked about the system, we talked about fashion groups. They need some gold if you want to make them feel important. To me, they're starting to lose a lot of different matches Well, other than Adriana with that Knockouts title, and let's face it, we don't know how long that Knockout title is staying on her. She could lose it in the live event in Sacramento coming up on Thursday for TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting enough, I was puzzled about the victory. They could have said Sean Legacy is not 100%. They could have given the victory to Uriah Connors to get the pin. But I was still. Where's your thoughts on the birthright? I'm a little worried.
Since NXT got raided, all the factions are in disarray now. Like the Vanity Project, they lost all their glamour. For Blake Monroe going up to the to SmackDown, so they're not as interesting as they were last week. That was a big change. DarkState, at least they have a story with their disarray, so it makes sense. Birthright, it just seems like 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back. I don't know what they're doing with them. It may be some backstage politics because you got all the old like Birthright, William Regal, Finley. I don't know how their relationship is with Shawn Michaels and the rest of them back there. I would think there would be a good relationship, but it just seems like it's a stumbling block for Birthright. So I don't understand it. Like they look like they should be in peak position to be the number 1 faction going forth. The name just makes sense. So I don't know what they're doing with them. I don't understand.
I don't get it either. And then after the match, they attacked Sean Legacy and EK Prosper. The numbers game again. Outcomes. Was it Wilder? Tate Wilder comes out from Evolve, does his thing. He did the most terrible moonsault on the outside. I mean, my goodness, that was disgusting. Please never do that again. That was terrible. And then I look at him. I go, how old is this guy? And then this is when I said this. I hope NXT does not stop recruiting NIL young talented athletes. Because I'm going to say this, the male independent wrestlers, I'm sorry. You guys you're not moving the needle.
No.
When I mean moving the needle, you're going to be used in NXT. I don't see anything else other past NXT. There is no trick. Again, we need to find the next trick, the next Alba, the next Braun. They need to find those young men, and they've got them through the NIL program. With the ladies, that's a different story. You could have your mixture of your women independent wrestlers. They're going to have a nice independent wrestler of women coming in. I think they get it more than the gymnasts, blondes from the NIL. When it comes, they need male NIL wrestlers to help. This is my take. You don't have to agree with it, but to me, I think those are the guys that want it, and they check the box more than the male independent wrestlers that they brought in. The guy, like you said, the pasty moonsault. This guy here, Tater Wilder. No, they got the Keanu O'Rourke. Don't fit the bill. These guys, they're not going to tickets. I'm sorry, they have to find guys that look like a mountain, a spectacle. Shiloh Hill was from one of those. Even Shiloh, he's from the NIL. Was an independent wrestler.
Yeah, he played college football, I believe, at Stanford.
Exactly.
When it comes down to, and this is controversial when it comes to the IWC, we have got to a point where wrestling fans have allowed all types of body types into wrestling, and that is not great. Because if we're not going to have larger than life characters, you got to have at least an archetype for body types. And I'm a big man myself, but I'm not gonna lie to you. If we got big men out there who are out of shape and they don't have great characters, I don't want to see them. What's the point? And the same thing with the shorter, smaller guys. Like we can have cruiserweights. We can't have everybody be vanilla jobbers. We can't have that. We got to have standards. In the words of the Pittsburgh Steelers, shout out to Chris, the standard is the standard. What are our standards in wrestling today? The WWE is the number 1 wrestling brand in the world. So if you're not going to have a standard for wrestlers, especially the male ones, how do you expect to sell tickets? Like this is an aesthetics business. I say this all the time. So you got to have the best looking people out here. I mean, built out of granite, out of stone, people that you want to be. Like, oh man, people aspire to look like Roman Reigns. That's just a fact. Like people dream. I went to the gym today. People in the gym, they may not even know who Roman Reigns is. If I show you a picture of him, they're like, yeah, I want to look like that. You see some of these guys in NXT, but they don't aspire to look like them. And same thing for the women. Like you got women that aspire to look like Zaria. Zaria is jacked. That's a huge woman. Women aspire to look like Jade Cargill. We got to have standards. So that's it's not controversial, Kev. It just we got the fans. They just allow anybody who could do a special move. If you got a nice signature move or you got a nice finisher, oh yeah, you could be on my TV. No, it's about looks. You gotta be fabulous. You got to set a standard. So that's I'll leave it at that.
And with NXT is for them to try to make naysayers quiet. Good. That's what you know what, use as a chip on your shoulders. One of the teams that's been that has done that and proven it right is Hank and Tank. I'm not for coffee, but you know what? They're very entertaining for the NXT brand. But I guarantee they're not going to get past. They might have a small cup of coffee on the main roster. They won't be a main feature. You got guys that look at the Creed brothers. Those guys are freaking athletes. You could tell. You see them in Bloodsport, Julius and Brutus. They don't even get a sniff on television.
It again, like I've heard, it was because they had a botch a long time ago with Damian Priest. However that went, but that seemed like that was 2 years ago. Why you still being punished for that? But yeah, going back to like the standard of just how the looks go. Like they showed a video of Nikita Lyons from a couple years ago and how she looks now. Nikita looked like she lost about 30, 40 pounds. And
she looks great.
She was thick in all the places. She wasn't just fat, but you could tell the difference how she looks now. I saw a picture of Piper Niven today. You know, she's been out with injury for a while. Piper Niven has lost 40 pounds. Like we got Angelo Dawkins with the Street Profits. He's lost a good amount of weight. Everybody was talking about Montez Ford not too long ago. He was doing a bulk and he's lost all that weight. So it seems like it may be a memorandum or some kind of message is going across to the talent. It's time to chisel up. And so if that's the case, I have no problem with it at all, because you got to look a certain way on television. If you want TV time, we have limited characters, so you better look great out here. So I understand.
And look, wrestling's always had the big gulty guy, the earthquakes, the tugboats, the typhoons. You know, it's the same character. The boss man, the one man gang. You know, just stud. They always had those guys. But have you ever seen them think about it? Other than Yokozuna, never held really the gold title.
Again, they're novelty acts, the special attraction. Big Show, Andre the Giant. You know what I mean? Like, look, we can't even get Omos on TV today. Omos looks great. We can't even get him on TV. He can't sniff a brand. So, I don't understand why they can't get these monsters of men anymore. Now, I don't know where they can't find them. Like we can find, like, the fact that Obafemi looks like one of the biggest guys on the roster would be an impossibility 20 years ago. We were like, okay, he's nice size, but we got 7-footers. We got 6'10" guys. Then we got at least 6'8" guys. We don't have them walking around here no more. I don't understand. They're still around. I don't know why they can't find them, but
because guys that made and they're Hall of Famers, by the way, these guys that I'm gonna mention. 2 guys that changed the mold, actually 3 if you want to include Bryan Danielson, but Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They changed the look. They changed the look when but their in-ring said it. Their in-ring, the proof is in their in-ring, and everyone, you know what? And I understand you have to evolve and give an opportunity and say, you know what, let's give a chance to see what some of these wrestlers could do at that stature and that size. Right now, maybe they need to. Sometimes you got to go back to the beginning, and sometimes you have to now start protecting, getting these monsters, these gladiators, these giants, especially for the prices that you want to charge. You want to make sure you want titans in the ring.
This is the problem we're reaching on Raw now. You know, I know we're on NXT, but this is just be quick. Obafemi is up here doing squash matches with Grayson Waller. Why? Because that's the archetype that goes on in wrestling today. Like, we don't have enough big men to feed to Obafemi to make him look great. We just had Brock Lesnar, a Hall of Famer, maybe a top 10 wrestler of all time. You go from Brock Lesnar to Grayson Waller. What is that? And then we're going to have the same problem in NXT when you get your Keanu Carvers coming up. You're going to have him beating up on who? Jackson Drake? It's not going to look great. So, yeah, the men's division as a whole, it's going to probably take a 2 to 3 year cycle to actually rebuild that whole men's division. Like, there's not. Oh, go ahead.
I'm glad you mentioned this, Haas. I want to hold on a minute. You just said Keanu Carver, another one that's not an independent wrestler. He comes from the NIL.
Yes,
I just wanted to bring that up.
Oh yeah, because again, we can't be bringing these retreads unless you're special. If you're a special guy from the Indies, fine, but we just can't be taking everybody who's been wrestling for 10, 15 years already, and we're gonna bring you to NXT against guys who are 22, fresh out of college, who you want to see. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you see how they got Joe Hendry out here real quick. They know they couldn't keep Joe down here too long. Joe's like 36. We can't have those guys down here too long. Like, they're special attractions in NXT. You just can't keep them down there too long. So yeah.
No, even the 22-year-old and that are coming in, they're built different. Where you bring the independent wrestler, that we've seen that's been on the circuit for like 9, 10 years. And yes, you're entitled to chase your dream. We're not telling you if you're an independent wrestler, because we do interview and we speak to them a lot, not to chase your dream and not to give up. No, chase it, go for it, get the opportunity. But don't be surprised if you're getting to the push towards the back where you have some younger NIL athletes, which be just the aesthetics alone. Out of all those people that I saw come out and ambush tonight for the male side, Cam Hendricks, the only one that caught my attention.
I mean, he looks the part. So I get exactly what you're saying, and again, this is a little bit off topic, but with these indie wrestlers that's trying to come to NXT, I wouldn't even focus on NXT. Go to AEW. Like, you would get a better bang for your buck, and you'll get more chances, at least over there. You'll be on TV on ROH behind the paywall. I mean, a guy like me won't buy it, but a lot of people will. But you will get a lot more run over there than you will over here, because WWE, if you saw the releases, they are prioritizing their younger talent. Like, you either get over NXT or Evolve or LFG, or you get out the door. Like, all these independent guys that's coming, y'all cost too much. It's all about cheap labor now. TKO is trying to get rid of their debt, so that's where they're going. Cheap laborers in NXT. They're gonna build up their own talent.
And speaking of that young talent that is not cheap, that is very valuable. We saw backstage with Kelly Armstrong. Now, Kelly Armstrong got in the face of Jada Parker, the old guard, pretty much putting her on notice and the locker room on notice. I was like, whoa. She just went up to the old guard, who's supposed to be the baddest woman in the locker room, and got into her face. I'm like, go get her, Kelly. I think those two are going to blow the house out when they freaking collide. I'm all for it. I want to see Jada and Kaylee Armstrong, but I'm like, damn, they're really gonna give Jada. I'm already booking a loss on Jada Parker. Damn, so I'm big on Kaylee Armstrong, so I'm
right with you, Kev. Yeah, Jada's gonna lose next week. You can't have Callie come in here and lose like this. So yeah, they're gonna job Jada out. And my biggest thing about this is, we were talking about how typecast earlier in the show. These women, and you get mad at me if you want to, they lack character development. All of them they're the same character. They're strong black women. I'm just leaving it at that. They are strong black women that don't take no mess. So whenever they do get called up, you're gonna have probably 2 get over, and someone's gonna get released. The other's gonna get released. That's just a fact of life, brother. In the words of LA Knight. So, and I don't want that to happen. So they're down here in development. They need to get distinct characters. Stop being the same lady. I mean, I know that you're trying to be who the baddest bee is back there. That ain't gonna work when you reach the main roster. Hell, that ain't gonna work a year or 2 down the line when people are picking their favorite wrestler. So yes, I get what Kelly's doing, and her and Jada, they're a similar type of character, and that scares me. So I want them both to get over, but they got to really explore this. But I'm interested about the match next week.
Yeah, I'm interested there. You have your women's world champion Lola Vice comes out to speak in the middle of the ring, calling out Izzy Dane if she wants a title shot. She's No, not hard to find. We have Sean Spears comes out for the distraction. And of course, right behind Lola, you get Izzy and Nico Vance. But Lola, one step ahead, out from under the ring. Mr. Iguana shows up. And the crowd popped. And you know what? You need a little levity.
Yes.
I was like, you know what? I'm happy that Mr. Iguana is there. They also keeping shine that they're, AAA. She is your mixed tag team champion. Which we're gonna lead her to a match next week where you're gonna have those mixed tag team titles on display up against Nico Vance and Izzy Dame. So I enjoyed it. I saw that there. The crowd was ecstatic to see Mr. Iguana, and Mr. Iguana is over, man. He shows up and he just lights the room.
I'm just gonna nitpick just a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
With Lola Vice, they seem to try to be giving her too much to say in her promos. It comes off a little extra. Like it seems like it's not authentic to her. And I know her English is proficient.
I don't know if Haas is mute. Probably froze for a moment. Yeah, Haas is, because there is some heavy rain and some rainstorms. If you heard the warning signal on his phone earlier there, so hopefully he'll get back up and running in a moment. Haas, if you hear me, just reset it, come right back in for Haas, and I will definitely. And I like what he was telling me. He was saying about Lola Vice, too much of a promo. Don't know if she's one of those that could think for a promo immediately off the top of her head with the quick rebuttal. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not one of those type for those quick rebuttals. I need to think about things, and at the moment, I never had that gift of the quick rebuttal immediately. I understand where she come. Maybe that's something Lola Vice, maybe in front of a camera, but she's starting to sound comfortable. And was it a little long winded? It could have been a little long winded for Lola Vice. But let's see what happens now with her going forward against Mr. Iguana. We're teaming up with Iguana against Izzy Dane and Nico Vance going forward towards it as I wait for Haas to reset and return back in. And you know what? While we do that, I'm gonna let's hear from our sponsor. We are sponsored by Dude Wipes and of course Blackout Coffee. Let's hear. Summer's coming, so we're gonna hear from Dude Wipes.
Summer is upon us real soon. When the temps start to climb, cool down your undercarriage with a poopsicle. Dude Wipes team created the world's first ice pop scented butt wipes. Every dude deserves a little treat after dropping a dookie. Poopsicle wipes. Get your butt over to the TP aisle or snag a pack online. Here, your promo code. Text DUDESAVE20 to 59463. Get 20% off. Dude Wipe, sponsor of the Sports Jedi Network channel. Feel the force. Stay Dude Wipe clean.
This is the one and only Paige, and you're watching Sports Jedi Network. Feel the force.
All right, before we keep this energy going, shout out to the sponsor of tonight's stream, G Fuel Energy. If you're watching this live, you already know. We don't do slow reactions, we don't do low energy, we stay locked in. And that's exactly what G Fuel brings to the table. Zero sugar, loaded with focus, and built for long streams just like this. Whether you're grinding, gaming, or watching chaos unfold with us, G Fuel keeps you going. Hit the link in the description, use code PGHCHRIS, and level up your energy the same way we do on Sports Jedi Network. Let's get back to it.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
All right. Hopefully you guys could hear me here. Had to jump on this computer. Guess a little technical difficulties. We got some rain and some issues. Hopefully you guys could hear me. Hopefully all that information, all that stuff is there. We'll continue our NXT review. Hopefully we get Haas back on in a moment. Absolutely. So we appreciate everyone jumping on. A little bit technical difficulties. Salute, we got there. There we go. We got power knocked out outage from our guy Haas. So he's got a power outage. I'll get the review. We'll get the review going as we had Haas on there, of course. And let's go. We had a backstage where Lennox arguing with Saquon Shugars. Again, we're starting to see the story of the argument between both of these two groups. Between these two, and then we get Cutler James gets animated, says, you know what? I'm glad he stepped up. They want to get us about getting that we're going to go get the goal with the tag team titles. They're keeping that dissension going and going forward when it comes to DarkState and what's next for them. It seems like we were saying earlier, for the leadership of DarkState, it's probably going to be Saquon Shugars versus Dion Lennox for that, and we'll go there. We had a debut of Lizzy Rain. Lizzy Rain taking key lots, and I wanted to hear Haas's take on that as we're getting Haas back on. Cool. Let's give it a moment there for Haas to join me here. And there he's coming. He should be on. Haas, you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Am I back?
Yeah, back on, Haas. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yes, you're back. I had, you know what? As soon as you went out, I had technical difficulties as well. I had technical difficulties as well. As soon as you had a power outage, it's funny. All right, so Haas is with us here. We're gonna talk about Lizzy Rain versus Alliance. You know, let's go right into it. What was your thoughts on that match? The debut of Lizzy Rain.
She her character is impressive. The whole about rock star, rock will not die. It'll get over pretty quickly, I believe. She's eccentric, got a lot of energy. I feel like her finisher needs a little work, but I did like the uppercut move she gave Nikita Lyons to the throat. It was pretty effective. So I liked it. The match was fine. I'm a fan of Nikita Lyons, so I didn't like her jobbing out like that, but effective. It was a showcase for Lizzy Rain. So cool. I have no problem with the match. All right. Well, we're having more difficulties, people.
I had to switch up. I had to switch up because the computer I couldn't hear you in the other one.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, no more technical difficulties.
All right. Well, like I say, the match was fine. It was a showcase for her. Like I say, she had a lot of energy. The hair is everywhere. I like it. I believe that PC is going to love her, and she's very interesting already. So I give her a guitar. If she can actually play instruments, that'll make this even better. If she's a drummer, it'd be great. If she come out there banging on drums, I think I'd like that. So Lizzy Rain, she's cool with me.
She's a character. She brought energy. As soon as she entered, she brought energy to the performance center. Where here's one thing I like: if she brings that kind of energy, you could place her on any part of the card of the and any given show, and she's going to bring the crowd up. If you need her to go up, if you need her to go in a match where there's a match that isn't a stinker, she's going to bring that. She's going to bring that energy and bring that and inject that to the crowd. So that's a big thing. Like you say, characters are very important. For her, first impression was very important because I love the character. There's a few things and that comes with in-ring experience. The headbutt to set up the knee lift, okay, fine. And this wasn't about Nikita Lyons, but you know what? I got to give Nikita Lyons a lot of flowers. Her getting Izzy to go over like that, and the way they put that to help her tell her debut story says a lot about Nikita Lyons going forward. I one thing I would have wished she would have not done was her split-legged split-legged moonsault that she does, not moonsault, the leg split that she does. That used to be her finisher.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're hitting her with your finisher so early in the match, but she didn't go for the cover. That's maturity and in her wrestling. Listening to her coaches. Now, we all know she's part of the LFG group. LFG changed their format. It's not about points and getting a future legend greats. They're getting them ready for NXT television. Once they're in LFG with the coaches put some matches, critiques, yada, yada. Once they do it, they impress it, and Shawn Michaels and Matt Bloom see something, they're going right to NXT to be on television. They're going to put them into the deep water and tell them to swim. So I like what Nikita Lyons did, because she was trying to get over talent and in that position of helping, and she did a good job. I got to give her her flowers. As much slack as I gave her before, but now I got to give her her flowers. Great job, Nikita, because you made that young lady's debut memorable. Loved it.
Oh yes.
I think it was called Thunderstruck. And I love the finishing move.
That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. You know how we talked about how the IWC is going to just up there dissect it all and everything. I believe it's a little tricky. It's got to be a little more smooth. But I believe that may have been Nikita's first time, just taking that move. So a few more times, a few more, reps, they'll make it look a little bit smoother. But it's not big for me, but I get it. I get where they're going with it.
No, it was a good one. And backstage, we see Keanu. We see Myles Borne with his good friend Travion Heights. Travion Heights a little bit edgy with Myles Borne, kind of much saying, well, you were like that. You were shortchanged alongside when you were chasing for that North American title from Eagle Page. Now I'm hungry too. I kind of, I'm paraphrasing. I'm hungry too. I want an opportunity there because you're changing. And then out comes Keanu Carver. It's like, wait a minute, weren't you in Tony D'Angelo's face? Now you're in he says, you know what? I told you there's a lot of sharks here, but I am the great white shark here for Keanu Carver. Now, that means he's looking, anyone is on notice. Anyone could catch their hands. That's straight for Keanu Carver, which was a good point there. And it felt because every male, as we saw throughout the thread of the night, they want to be put on notice on all the championship pods. So for Keanu Carver getting in Myles' face, I'm for it. I could see that. I could see that going.
Yeah, it's getting you ready for down the road because I think the Travion Heights or Tavion Heights, his segment with Myles Borne, he might be the one to take the belt off Myles, and that might move Myles into the NXT main event. So this a little bit of foreshadowing there. I like it. And Keanu Carver, they're establishing him as the big bad of the show. We'll see how consistent that is because being the street tough big heel, it has a shelf life. So we'll see how strong that goes for him.
The only thing that came to my head, now that they brought in Evil, and all those people made their name going after Tony D'Angelo, I hope they didn't push Keanu Carver back down to the North American title scene. All right, well, because, maybe it'll be too much for you. No, keep him around there. Don't push him back. And I first saw that, and I go, no, but that is Travion, though. So I'm like, I hope they didn't push. It's just more meant to the picking on it because Keanu looks like we were talking about from the NIL program. That looks like a monster that ready to go. Also, Travion Heights comes from the collegiate wrestling program. He also checks the box. Unlike, like I said, I know Samurai wants to know our thoughts. Check out the video earlier. We spent a good time on how these guys the independent male wrestlers are not hitting it for us because of the size and their look. We want NIL big. So I'll advise you to check that video so don't be redundant because we got people watching us that we want to move on as well we don't want to go 3 hours going around the same things in circles. We'll find out what happens for Keanu Carver. We had this match. The next match was Keanu Jordan versus Ren Sinclair with Kendall Gray in the corner. The match, we were talking about this a little bit in the production, and I wanted to talk about this match. To me, match of the night. I wrote this here on my notes. I love the match of the night. It's not because who won, who lost. These are two ladies. Well, we know Kalani Jordan. If they tell me tomorrow she's going on Friday Night SmackDown, she's making her debut this Friday, I wouldn't bat an eye. She's ready. But here's the thing that I really enjoyed was Ren Sinclair. Because Ren Sinclair, with her facials, her actions, they told a great, wonderful story on her knee. Ren Sinclair took that next level of storytelling in a wrestling match. I loved it because when she did the drop kick, when she did her finishing move, the way she buckled her knee, like it hurt it, like she was in pain to get that finisher, told me a great story there where her compromised knee and the opportunistic of a Kalani Jordan going forward and continue to solidify herself the top lady in that division, Haas. That's why I put this the match of the night, because Kalani kept selling and kept attacking the knee, staying on it, not letting down, not showboating, but kept attacking and getting heat for it. Everything checked the box when in that type of whatever they were going for in that match, they hit it out of the park.
I'm jumping ahead here from with Ren Sinclair. This is going to be our new Zaria Sol Ruca rivalry coming up soon.
Yes,
I don't know when the breakup's going to happen, but I'm here before the party starts because a lot of people have given Kendall Gray her flowers already, and Ren Sinclair, like you said, she's showing herself too. She's looking very good out there, and you're out there with this veteran Kalani who's making you look good as well. So this was a very good match, and like you said, the facials were all over the place, and it tells, like you say, it tells a great story. You don't get a bland match. They're not just out here doing moves. So yes, it gives you the narrative that you want to see. So I was impressed by both ladies. I didn't get where they were going at first, but the way you broke that down, I get it.
No, that's what I enjoyed. That storytelling, that art of the storytelling. It wasn't about the spots. It wasn't because Kalani could easily do her split leg. She did end the match with the split leg moonsault, but Kalani does other things. Like when she does the split she does the cutter. She didn't do that. She just kept working. Very simplistic. You know, it might have been, some people might have said, oh, that was maybe a little dull. I'm gonna expect the difference because at least for me, I understood what was the assignment. The minute when Ren Sinclair missed that drop kick, and she quickly grabbed and her yells on that and everything. And I got to give the referee so much credit too, because he didn't over exaggerated the match with him being there. Unlike the little ball Derek Sanders, the bald guy, he's every second squeezing the hand. Are you okay? And he's talking and telling directions. I hate his refereeing because he takes me out of the match because he's constantly giving them directions, talking to them. Him and Adrian Butler, the Canadian Indian referee. Those two, I can't stand them because they're all over the place with instructions. Let them wrestle. Let them tell their story. They're okay. You check, get back. Not, and then he's grabbing the side. I hate that when it comes to NXT. I know it's developmental, and I know you're protecting those kids, but especially with 4K cameras and that zooming right in. And then this is where the stupid show on Netflix, the Unreal, hurts it because you're looking. They give you the peek behind it, and now you're seeing the magic of how the sausage is made there, and then you're like, now here we go. He's fine. He's checking and he's squeezing the hand. It ruins a little bit of the wrestling view. But I got to give the referee in this instant in that match credit because he laid back a little bit. He checked. But he also laid back and let the match tell the story with the knee injury. This is why it was a classic. And I got to give kudos to the producers, the ladies, and the referee. Did a great job. That's why I said match of the night.
And the aftermath of this match, this is going to get Kalani back in the NXT Championship race. So she's going to end up, going with Ren and then probably go after Kendall Gray next. And then she's going to meet up with Lola Vice again because Kendall Gray has established herself as a contender. So if you run through the Ren QCC, why not give Kalani a title shot? So makes sense. After Lola gets done with Izzy and the color.
Yeah, I can see that. and I have no problem. I have no problem with that. Before the main event, we see the CGI vignette of the whole Zaria parting the waters with the fire, seeing the Sol Ruca fading away with the. I loved it. People are complaining. Who gives a shit if it was CGI? I like the main idea, the purpose behind that story. Now Zaria is the big bad that she should have been since she walked into the WWE Performance Center. I loved it. And the vignettes, it hit. I'm for it. I'm excited. Haas, is anything you would like to add to the vignette there?
Oh, I have no problem with it. Really good. It's just, the news we got today about WWE and AI, it became the boogeyman going into the show today. So that's why everybody's talking about it. I don't understand the problem with it. I mean, it just goes into like, I guess, a political statement. Do you like AI or you don't? That's what it breaks down to. But all of them, the other brands are using it. The other promotions are using it. You got to use it to your benefit. So, hey, it is what it is. I had no problem with it, though. Zaria, your presentation looked good.
The Zaria presentation did look good. Main event, final match for Ricky Saint's NXT career versus Shiloh Hill. And you could see what they're doing here in the WWE. They have a lot invested. They see a lot of future in Shiloh Hill. They bought this kid from the NIL program there. In season 1, they see something different. And from not just your meatball athlete wrestler, this kid is intelligent, and this kid is a character. And he brings that character to life each and every week in NXT, whether it's the dark web, backward stuff, crazy stuff, and it hits. Haas, your thoughts of this match, the main event, and the ending, and the who went over. Your thoughts.
Full disclosure, Shiloh Hill is my favorite male wrestler going in NXT right now. So I don't want to see like this is a glazed fest. I'm a fan. Like the infectious laugh, it sells it all. I know you heard that thunder in the background.
I heard it.
Yeah, but this is a very good match for him. This was a showcase for him. Ricky Saints had him look good in this match. Very good. I'm not gonna say it was just great. It was like proficient. Can't complain about it. Shiloh Hill, they're gonna build this division around him. I can see him getting that belt maybe by the end of this year. It should be very fun to see it happen. But yeah, Shiloh Hill, very fun character. I enjoy the characters. The infectious laugh, you paired him with Tatum Paxley, probably the best character on the brand. That combo goes, and Shiloh's to the moon right now. They put the rocket on him. Looks like it.
I think they are going to put the rocket on him, and he's going to be entertaining. At first, he's not my cup of coffee. Still might not be my cup of coffee for him, but I'll have him. The lesser of the two of all the evils, I'll take him. By the way, so we got a lot of debuts. We've by the way, the pasty fella, I believe his name was Will Cruz, Kroos, formerly known as Bill. Well, yeah, him. Who? Bill Cole was his name. Cruz. Okay. Yeah. And Tate Wilder wasn't really that impressive, but we'll see. Let's give an open mind. They're revamping. It felt energy. You know what I appreciate? They try to bring these kids from Evolve and from all different places and brought in energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we're done with all the energy, new faces coming into NXT. I think we're gonna get some more stuff. But here's the thing I'm going to ask. How is that going to affect going forward the collaboration with TNA?
It ain't gonna hurt it. It's all for reps. And your younger guys need those reps with veterans, and the TNA guys are all veterans. So that's all it's for. It's all practice reps. If anything, this might help TNA keep the ratings consistent by putting them over there. So
yeah, but you can't have these younger go in there and start taking the TNA titles though. I can't see Shiloh Hill going in there and beating Mustafa Ali. It's wrestling. Anything can happen. It's wrestling. Anything can happen. But, that's not going to look aesthetic-wise. It's not going to look great.
Kev, it's going to happen. You know it. It's going to happen.
I can't have EK Prosper or Sean Legacy beat Leon Slater for that.
It ain't going to go that far.
Title.
Unless they get tremendously over in the next few months, Kev, those two guys, you have nothing to worry about.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have really anything to offer TNA to offer TNA to help them grow, other than the Birthright.
Lexus King might be over there though. I can see.
Yeah, other than the Birthright group, it's that's the only thing that's a little bit of a tough one there going forward. Yeah, so I'm a little bit worried about that collaboration here and there. Maybe a Hank and Tank for the tag team division for TNA would be something different. Sean Spears would be a veteran, because we've heard in the past, like Eddie Edwards doesn't really have nothing. What am I really going to work in NXT for? Kind of a quote phrase. So that's the only thing that I have a little bit of a concern coming out of all this revamp. But I like the energy. You got to try something different. Energy on Tuesday nights with all the different new faces coming in. What happens for Lizzy Rain? Where going forward? We haven't seen formally Nikki Blackheart. Hopefully, we'll see her soon.
I'm very interested to see her. Very interested.
Oh yeah, that presentation. What's going to be her WWE name. We'd love to see where they're going to go with Nikki Blackheart and so forth. So it's interesting. Good revamping. Pretty good NXT show again, because it was different. It wasn't the same. It was something different. Although it was still NXT format was the same, but it felt different.
It wasn't wrestling heavy, so it was fine. A lot of setups and, like you said, interferences. So it had a good mix, a very good mix.
All in all, good job tonight. This was a good job. We're going to say goodnight here because, of course, we don't know power outages as well and all that good stuff. But this is our NXT review. We want to say thank you so much. Don't tune in tomorrow night where Chris and, of course, Haas, Barry No Power Outage, will be back on to do some AEW Dynamite. Of course, they got that big one there with Maxwell Jacob Freeman possibly winning your mid-card title. And maybe Brody King might be put back on ice. He could really be an ice. With that said, guys, have a wonderful night. May the sports be with you, and we'll see you next time here on the Sports Jedi Network, man. Thank you again.
This is Sports Jedi Network, the fan-powered, creator-driven home for wrestling, combat sports, and major New York sports talk. Hosted by BX Sports Jedi Kevin, your rapid-fire, high-energy commentator, alongside a crew of passionate young men and ladies bringing the heat every single show. We cover it all: watch-alongs, live reactions, recaps, interviews, and debates from WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, Dynamite, TNA, Thursday Night Impact Zone and specials, UFC Time with Austin, plus full coverage of New York sports talk. And yes, we tap into the galaxies of Star Wars plus the worlds of Marvel and DC. Breaking news, rumors, fantasy booking, hot take debates, plus major collaborations with PGH Chris TV Production, Wrestling Soup and Friendos, Garden of Thought, PUWF Podcast, Hello Media of the Samuel Lyon TCP Podcast Group. We're fast-paced, we're interactive, we're built for live chat energy and real fan community. Our mission? Real-time reactions, honest takes, humor, interviews, and energy every single show. This isn't just coverage, this is community, this is combat, this is culture. That's Sports Jedi Network. May the sports be with you.